Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, it's the Workers Beat. I'm Gene Lantz, and this is my beautiful
Bonnie Mathias. Good morning.
Everybody wants to know why Bonnie and Mathias and I up here in the studio don't just go at each other tooth and nail and rip each other's clothes off. And
Ooh.
It's because we have a chaperone. It's Joe.
That's right, Joe the chaperone. That's right.
And the
keeping
numbers,
that from happening.
and you can make a pledge and also keep things stable by calling 972-647-1893. Here's what's coming up for working people. And there's a bunch of it. It's getting long. You know, these lists are getting longer and longer and longer.
Well, they're going to get even longer now.
On today at 10 o'clock at the MLK Center, the Freedom Ride Tour meeting. They are getting ready to go on the route that the Freedom Riders took through the South in a bus. So go to the MLK Center at 10 o'clock today, or call for information to Dr. Jerry Chambers, 972-693-1489, or you can call LaRonda Bacon at 214-670-8418. I'll give her number one more time, 214-670-8418, and that's for the Freedom Tour meeting. They're not going yet. This is a meeting to plan it. Okay, the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans is going to honor the Veterans Day Parade. They're going to go to the Veterans Day Parade, meet at 10:45 at City Hall, downtown Dallas. That's on Irvay and Young. It's actually Irvay and Marilla, but Marilla is kind of a street that doesn't really count.
It's kind of just a little block.
Or another way to put it is across from the library. 10:45 on November 11th, Veterans Day. On November the 12th, at 8 o'clock in the morning, there'll be a vigil for the construction workers' right to rest. The right to rest means that they want them to get breaks. Right now, they can work them 12 hours a day without giving them any kind of breaks at all, because Texas law doesn't provide for any breaks. So they're trying to get the city to require breaks for construction workers. So the vigil for construction workers, 8 o'clock Wednesday, Dallas City Hall, and here's the address for City Hall, 1500 Marilla. It's still on Young and Irvay.
Yes.
And that's in the flag room on the 6th floor. And I don't have a telephone number for that one. Okay, Wednesday, October the 12th at 11:30 a.m. Our communities, our school will meet at the Alliance AFT office. I forgot the address, but I think it's 314 Center.
334.
It's on Center. It's on Center and Bishop anyway, in Oak Cliff. And that's at 11:30 on Wednesday. Now, Wednesday night, Jobs with Justice sponsors their regular monthly planning meeting. But this one's going to be kind of special because they're going to do a sing-along. They're going to do some songs for Walmart. Isn't that nice?
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah,
that's for Black Friday, right?
That's going to be fun. I wrote a special.
Did you write a song?
I wrote a special song for it.
You wrote a song.
It's on YouTube.
Right.
Okay, November the 13th, 15th, there's a conference called Facing Race, a national conference. And the sponsors is called Race Forward, the Center for Racial Justice Innovation. That's November 13th through 15th. On November the 28th is Black Friday Walmart protest. They're going to go to a Supercenter Walmart at Grand Prairie, Texas, and they're asking people to support the Walmart workers. They've got activities planned for Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving, which is Black Friday.
Cool.
That's the list. And I hope people will be able to do some of it. You can't do all of this stuff.
No, you can't. But you can do something.
Bonnie does almost all of it.
Well, I do. It's important because democracy is not a spectator sport. So obviously that word did not get out prior to this election. 9 million Texans sat at home and did not vote.
Uh-huh.
What is wrong with you people?
That's 2/3 of the people.
2/3 of the people in Texas did not bother to get up off of their collective butts.
They weren't our listeners. Our listeners all voted.
I know they did, but Gene, obviously we're doing something wrong here.
So Bonnie's giving you some pointers on what to say to the people who didn't vote. Because
you don't want my pointers.
No,
Might want to check my Facebook page if you'd like some pointers.
Well, when you figure it all out, the people who won got half or a little more than half of the vote, and the vote was 33%. So you can figure that the people who won got about 17% of the vote.
Yeah. So that means 17% of the registered voters in the state of Texas made decisions for the other 2/3.
Yeah, for everybody else.
For everybody else. Because if you didn't vote, you obviously don't care.
And now they're going to have to eat that.
And now you got to eat it.
2
And
years.
unfortunately, we all have to eat it too. All of us that did take the time to get up and vote. Mm-hmm. And you know, there's something about voting that kind of reflects on our what do we call this? Pledge drive. That's it. Pledge drive. Pledge drive. 926471893.
We keep going.
And if you make a pledge, that means that you're choosing what you want to listen to.
Yeah, for a $100 pledge, I'll come to your next meeting and sing the song about Walmart.
And for a $200 pledge, he won't come to your next meeting and sing.
That's
How's
a threat.
that? That's pretty good.
I don't know if we're imploring people or threatening them.
Well, you know, I don't care. Just pledge.
972-647.
1893.
All right.
We have lots of gifts and stuff for you too. We have stuff for the for your premium. You know, if you decide that you do want to support us, which we need you to support us, it's very important.
Tell them about the texting. There's a number you can text.
This is the coolest thing. You can do it electronically by texting. Hello, there it is. 56. Okay, you text KNON to 56512. Okay, 56512. Text KNON, and you will get a pledge form on your smartphone.
Go over that again. Exactly how does it work? Because the 56512, is that what you put in instead of the telephone number?
That's right. That's exactly right.
You go to message, and then you put in 56512, and then for the message,
it's KNON.
Put KNON.
That's right.
Okay. And
it's very cool.
Then what happens?
Well, a pledge form comes up. It's sent to your form.
Oh, I see.
You fill out that form on your phone.
I see.
Hit send, and it comes back to the station, and Christian does what Christian does, right?
Even us challenged people could.
Yeah, you could even do it, Gene. I know you could.
Or you could.
I'm doing it right now.
Or you could call 972-647-1893.
And talk to the lovely Joe.
Yeah, Joe will answer the phone.
That's right.
And in his husky voice.
Husky. I bet you've never been described as husky, have you?
Well, it's a husky voice, you know.
Husky.
A musky aroma.
Oh, musky. Oh, musky, husky?
I know, you haven't. You really must talk to Joe. And that way you can get your pledge in. But you have to lie when
and
you
tell
do
them
this.
that this is your favorite show, right? Because it is, right?
Well, even if it's not, you
still
have to say it's your favorite show. Otherwise, we won't get credit for it.
And you know, because it takes money to do this, even though Gene and I do not have, we do not partake of the fountain. Yeah, there are, there's very little.
No, I think you're going to have to clear that up.
Okay, there's 5 staffers, right? Am I right? 5 paid staffers that run the station 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The rest of us, 150 volunteers, are the ones that put on the programming.
Is that why you're always saying you would take a pay cut?
Yeah.
Because
we don't get paid.
We don't get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, well, none of the volunteers get paid, and,
That's right.
and the staffers
That's right.
don't get paid very much either.
But there's always money going out, I promise you, because we have to pay our electricity, we have to pay attorneys, that's kind of a necessary evil, unfortunately.
We want to thank Kimberly for making a pledge. We just found out when
thank
we got
you.
here this morning.
That's right, a young
Kimberly
lady
made
at
a pledge
TSCU member.
For us.
That's very nice.
And Joshua last week, and Richard last week.
Yeah.
I don't have a written list.
I don't have a list either. I'm kind of surprised. I usually have a list on the second week.
It's pretty nice when someone calls because it means that workers' information means something to you. I would like to think that Bonnie and I were the best possible messengers to bring you the message of workers, but
absolutely,
we may not be. I don't know, but I do know this: we're the only ones.
Yep,
we're the only ones. We're the only ones anywhere around here who give you the information from the workers' point of view.
Yep.
If there's a protest, you can be sure that the corporations are not going to tell you about it. Walmart is not going to call you up and say, come to the protest down in front of the Walmart store. No. It's going to be us.
That's right.
And so we may not be the greatest. I don't know. But I do know that we're the only ones.
You're not going to hear it anywhere else. No one else is going to tell you about the Workers' Defense Project and their rally or their vigil on Wednesday morning. Mm-hmm.
And maybe if they made a big enough pledge, they would hire somebody else that would be better than us.
No, there's not anyone better than us, Gene. I've already made that.
Well, we're still the only ones.
Assumption.
I know that.
Yes.
972-647-1893, and we greatly appreciate it.
If we're the only ones, then we're the best, right?
Yeah.
Duh.
If they don't, if they don't call, on the other hand, here's what happens.
Yeah.
KNON cancels the shows.
18 shows in the last 3 years.
If they can't show that somebody's listening and somebody cares enough to keep you on, then the KNON cancels.
It's curtains.
And that's fair.
It's curtains for you.
That's fair. We shouldn't be on, I guess, if nobody wants to hear workers' information.
And we don't. One thing about KNON, they don't share your information with anybody. You're not going to start getting a bunch of crap. By being a donor to KNON. We have a wonderful program. We just draft your account every month. It's super easy.
And they don't keep the information.
No. It's wonderful. I have been on bank draft for, God.
Yeah.
30
and for a $50.
30 years.
And for a $50 pledge, I'll tell you where my song is on YouTube because I put it on YouTube. It's not because it's any good or anything, but I just thought, if some real singer was to find it on YouTube and they could
wanted to re-record it.
See, I can't write music, so I can't write it down and send it to people. So I just put it on YouTube the best I could, and there's where you will find it, and you can use it. Some real guitar player and some real singer can get hold of it and possibly do something with it. But it's a song about Walmart.
That's great. I can't wait because we got some big things coming. Mm-hmm. Because the Christmas season is gearing up, and that's Walmart's biggest time of the year. So we want to make sure that everybody knows, every customer of Walmart needs to know, all these people you see in those blue vests are not making squat.
Yeah.
Most of them are on some type of public assistance.
That's right.
So
they're getting food stamps.
While you're buying all your stuff in here at Walmart, just remember, these people that are working there, helping you, checking you out, stocking the shelves, those people are on public assistance and probably cannot afford to shop at Walmart.
I wonder if they get a discount.
No, sir.
They don't even get a discount? I didn't know that.
I think they get 10% on clothing and nothing on groceries.
Wow.
There's
a couple of more things that I missed. Announcements of things that are coming up for working people. November the 14th is a Postal Workers National Day of Action. Here's the reason they're having a National Day of Action. The Postal Service is going to cut services. Now, right now, you're supposed to be able to mail a letter one day and it arrives the next day.
That's so funny.
Well, anyway, they're going to cut.
Oh, they're going to cut that?
They're going to cut that even.
Oh.
And so
how long is it going to take to get there now?
To avoid these cuts, the National Day of Action is November the 14th. We have a very good postal union here.
Yep, APWU.
Yeah, that's the clerks. We also have the letter carriers.
Yep, NALC,
and the
that's right.
bulk mail handlers, I think.
That's right.
American Postal Workers, National Association of Letter Carriers, National Postal Mail Handlers, and National Rural Letter Carriers.
Wow.
They're all together
Wow.
on the November 14th day.
Good.
Now, on December the 4th, there's the annual Peacemakers Awards dinner for the Dallas Peace Center.
Yeah.
That'll be at the Doubletree Hotel. If you want information on that, contact Rosemary Rieger, 214-632-5695. And I got one more information of interest to workers and to activists, and that is that George Nolan is in the hospital. George Nolan's in room 394, Baylor Medical Center, Garland. If you don't know who George Nolan is, he's that older guy, he's bald, who's always the most active of the activists.
Yeah.
If you're on the sidewalk, he wants to get in the streets. If he's in the streets, he wants to get on top of the police. George Nolan is a very strong activist, but right now he's in the hospital.
Oh, I'm so sorry. George is awesome. And, man, if you're listening, George, or anybody's listening that is going to go see him, tell him that we're thinking of him and we're praying that he's going to be okay soon.
He's in room 394, Baylor Medical Center in Garland. Get better, George. We need you.
We need you, bud.
I need you. I know at Christmas he dressed up like the Grinch, you know. And he got some kind of skin disease from skin.
Oh, from the
rash
makeup or something. Oh my!
From coloring himself green.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he goes all the way. That guy does.
That's pretty cool.
There's a website called Glassdoor.com that I just found out about. Glassdoor.com, in which you can find out about different companies. Because you know how the companies always want you to not say anything about your job. They don't want you to tell anybody how much you make and stuff like that. And they clamp secrecy down on you. Well, that's in their interest, but it's not in ours. And so this website called Glassdoor.com is a place where employees go and talk about their companies and say, here's how much money I made working at such.
Really?
Here, there was a good employer or a bad employer. And
wow.
That's
I'll bet employers are wanting to shut that puppy down.
I bet they do.
That's one good thing about being in a union job. You don't have to worry about some guy on the line or doing the same thing as you, making more than you are, because that's not happening.
No, you actually
That's
publish. Right.
It's in the contract how much everybody at what wage step is being paid.
Yeah.
If you've been there, if both of you are sitting side by side, you both have, you're at the top level of pay, you're making the same amount of money. And you have the same opportunities and the same benefits as that guy sitting next to you.
And the women make as much as the men.
That's right.
It's about the only situation.
That's right.
Where the women
otherwise,
make as much as the men.
Otherwise, women are making 77 cents to every dollar.
972-647-1893 is the number if you want to call and make a pledge. We appreciate it very much. If you've already called, please call again. We'll be right back. And then comes
Saturday morning, and Bonnie and Jean. Yeah.
And time to make a pledge.
That's right.
972-647-1893. Now, if you are shy and do not want to call on the telephone and go on the air and talk about how much you adore KNON, then you can, if you want to, go on our website, knon.org, and then you press the button for make a donation.
Donate.
Then there's a trick to this. The trick is that you have to put Workers Beat as your favorite program.
That's right. Don't forget what the name of the show is, Workers Beat.
If you don't put Workers Beat, then we don't get credit,
and that's not good.
And we go right down the
drain. I don't want to do that.
Right with the other.
And if you don't want to call, if you got your smartphone handy, you can text 56512. That's the number that you put up at the top where the phone number goes, 56512. And then put KNON as the message and hit send. And then you're going to get a text message back with a link that takes you right to the pledge form that you can fill out right there on your smartphone. And you can call us and get set up on a bank draft, which is super simple. We can't do that on the website yet, can we, Joe? Can we do the bank draft on the website yet?
I'm not sure about that because I think there's
Okay. So if you want to get on bank draft, you need to call us. Okay. That's cool, because that's the easiest way to give, honest to God, is the bank draft. Because it just, if you don't see it, you're not going to spend it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you can also just write a check and send it to 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200.
75235.
And that would be just lovely.
Yes.
Bernice is on the phone. Let's see what Bernice has to say. Good morning. Thanks for calling KNON.
Good morning, y'all. How are y'all doing today?
All right.
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. I have two questions, and I'll hang up and just listen. The first one is, do y'all provide, or you know of any organization that provides training to start a petition to get something on the ballot, legislation ballot?
We don't have that in the state of Texas.
You're just talking about referendum.
Referendum, how do they get things on the ballot?
In California, they have the referendum that people can do that.
Right.
The only way I think the only way you can get anything on the ballot is for the state legislature to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but what was that with the charter school there? See, I'm not understanding, because y'all say we can't do it, but how is it that these people who come in from the outside can try to set up home school, and they had petitions, and they get all these signatures?
Because
they get legislators to do it.
Right. There's a law in the books already that was passed in 1995 here in Texas about the charter district. Mm-hmm. And they just chose this past year to make use of that law. And the law says you have to get so many signatures to get this on the ballot. Mm-hmm. And if you succeed in that, and then these are the steps.
That was a state law. Yeah.
That was a state law. So, unfortunately, we don't have things in place in Texas
how do we get those who are elected officials to help put that on something like that on the ballot? How do we do that?
We hold them accountable, and we go to Austin during the legislative session, and we send letters and call and email and build a coalition to get things done. I mean, that's what we have to do, and especially now, because I promise you, this legislative session coming up in 2015 in Texas, oh Lord, girl, it's more red than it was the last legislative session.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it seems like, now, not to be red or blue, but it just seems like when it comes to things that really matter to the people, there's nothing on the but reflecting that, like wage increase. Let's say continuing increase wages when the cost of living continues to go up, then wages across the board should go up for those who are working class or so-called working poor. But there is no initiative, and I was wondering, how can we get something like that started? I know you said we need to organize it, but is there someone we can go under to begin the process of organizing and building coalitions?
Well, we have started. This past about a year ago, the AFL-CIO had a strategic campaign where we brought together labor leaders and community group leaders in San Antonio, and we are indeed working together in fact, the big campaign against the homeschool rule was actually headed up by TOP, which is Texas Organizing Project, and they built the coalition that includes, oh my God, probably 25 or 30 groups that really pushed hard to get that, A, not on the ballot in November, and B, to make sure that there were actually good representatives on that charter board.
Bernice, are you wanting to fight the school privatization, or are you worried about wage increases?
Well, it's not about the school organization. It's basically about the wage. You know, they always complain about those on both sides of the spectrum. They both complain about, one says to the extreme, we need wages increase, and the other side says we don't need it because it'll bankrupt the company and all this foolishness. And I'm saying there has to be a balance where it's fair and just, not just for one side only, where it's fair with people who don't want to be on welfare because, like what you just stated earlier, they working for Walmart, but they getting government subsidies. There needs to be some kind of criteria that hold these companies, and I know there's some loopholes that hold them accountable, and I just don't buy that we can't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Bernice, and I don't mean to harp on this, but, you know, we had some really good candidates on the ballot in this election, but 2/3 of the people, registered voters in Texas, stayed home and did not vote.
But
2/3.
But the good news is that in other states where they do have the referendum, there were referendums on raising wages, and I think 5 of them passed. In several states, including Arkansas, they raised the minimum wage.
5 states,
in
that's
5 different states. So that was really good. And Bernice, you're right to be looking for a way to get that going here in Texas. The best thing that I can think of for you to do is hook up with this Walmart group, because they've got what they call the Fight for 15. They want to raise the low wage people up to $15 an hour by hook or crook. Either by state law or city law, or to force the companies to do it one at a time. But
I don't want
that's the way I would connect.
Yeah, but listen, this is what I'm saying, so that everybody can be on the same page. It can't be just for one group. It ought to be for people who work for who are low wage wage.
It does, but you have to start somewhere.
Right.
That's true, but you have to start somewhere, you see.
Because 5 states, this last election cycle that ended on Tuesday, 5 states enacted the minimum, raising the minimum wage.
I didn't hear, to be honest with you, with the elections, with this, I did not hear no one saying this is specifically what we're going to do. They talk general. There was nothing specific about what they're going to do. The Republicans only used President Obama as an scapegoat. But there was no accountability on their part as saying what they are for. They didn't say, well, we are for helping the poor to come out of poverty. There was always against, and it was all this hate mongering, fear mongering, and I'm going, that's still hurting this great state. And to me, it was not about the people's needs. It was about whatever it takes to save their necks to stay and to remain in power. And I thought that was so. I mean, for the Tea Party, this is what I saw.
I thought those are very, very good points. But you better make all your points, because there's people waiting.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then: do y'all have information on how to start a union for school drivers, for school bus drivers?
Yes, we do.
I would say call Mark York at AFL-CIO, and he can kind of point you in the direction and hopefully give you some somebody, an organizer maybe, and I'm not sure.
The number for the AFL-CIO is 214-826-4808. It's 214-826-4808.
Thank y'all so much for your time and patience.
Thanks, Bernice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernice. And Blackhawk is online. Don't forget to make call. Pledge, though, 972-647-1893. Blackhawk, good morning. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Gene. You know we have a lame duck president now, don't you?
A lame duck president, that's true.
Lame duck president. I'm surprised you still sing and play the guitar.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember Cass Thunderhawk?
Yeah, I still do.
Do you remember Cass Thunderhawk?
No, who's that?
You remember Cass Thunderhawk, how we used to sing together?
No.
Okay, I see you here. Good luck, man. Let's all get these workers organized.
Right.
Get these Walmart people some pay.
All right, sir.
Love.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blackhawk. He's referring to my new song, Working at Walmart, which for $100 I'll come to your organization and sing it. And for $200,
he won't go.
I won't. 972-647-1893. But, you can get it on YouTube, and you can sing it.
Yeah.
And it's a good song, Working at Walmart.
We made up several years ago when we were in contract negotiations with AT&T Yellow Pages. we made up Christmas carols to sing about AT&T and the contract negotiations. And for 3 weeks in a row, a bunch of us went down to Whitaker Tower, which is the big AT&T building where Golden Boy is, which is a huge gold statue of a winged man that stood on, it was the Spirit of Communication. And it was actually designed by a woman back in 1936. And now it's displayed in the lobby of the AT&T building. And we would all gather around and sing our Christmas. There's where all the gold went. We would all gather around and sing our Christmas carols to AT&T. Now, we did this for 2 Fridays in a row. We were there for a good 20 minutes. Okay, there was about 15, 20 of us. The 3rd Friday we showed up, I saw my friend, the Dallas police liaison, and I turned around and looked at everybody and said, "We ain't singing inside today." And we were not. But that was okay because the press came and saw us outside that day while we were singing our Christmas carols to AT&T. And funny, just within not very long, we got our first tentative agreement.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
So singing really helps.
That, singing songs about...
The labor movement is a singing movement. You know,
Yeah.
people kind of lose sight of that over the last few years where people have gotten kind of grim about it, and they say, you're either got to go on strike or nothing.
No, that's not the answer anymore, folks.
There's other things you can do.
Yeah.
You can sing songs, and it is helpful. There's quite a long tradition and a lot of really, really beautiful music that is labor music. Unfortunately, a lot of it is Appalachian bluegrass music, and not everybody likes bluegrass as much as I do.
But if you listen to Ann Feeney, she's got great songs, and of course
it's more rock and roll.
A little more. She's got a little more rock in there. I love my favorite song of hers is "We Came to Work Here. We Did Not Come to Die Here." And it's about safety on the job.
But there are rap artists that do labor songs.
Sure.
And they just don't get, the corporations own all the companies, so they don't get record contracts and that sort of thing, like somebody who's singing about, "Oh, Susie, that I used to really love," The corporations will pay you for that.
That's right.
But not if you come up with one saying, "My boss stinks." They don't get the offers from the record companies that everybody else does.
Right.
972-647-1893. We are just dying to have you call and make a pledge. We often say we are not begging, but we are.
But we are begging because we need you to call and make a pledge because we want to remain on the air. It's very important that we remain on the air because you're not going to hear about things that we announce on any other station anywhere in the Metroplex.
Bernice made a really good point about why people didn't vote. They didn't like the message. They didn't hear a clear positive message. They didn't like the negative campaigning, and I think those are reasons.
Valid.
Some reasons why
Absolutely.
some people didn't vote.
Yeah.
I think that another reason why people didn't vote is because of voter suppression.
Oh.
Don't forget that the Republicans had a deliberate program to keep people from voting called voter suppression. And we will never know just how effective that was, even though we're probably going to get some figures saying this many people were turned away, and and it won't be a very big number, but we will never know how many people just didn't go to the polls.
Yeah.
How many people got discouraged and just said, "Well, I don't think I have the right stuff, so I'm just not going to go." And
that the court struck down the voter. We had one court that struck down the voter ID law.
Yeah, it's undemocratic.
Right. It's unconstitutional. Well, then, of course, it was appealed, and the Supreme Court said, "You know what? We're not going to get involved right now."
Yeah, they said
it's too close to the election.
You have to do it.
You have to do it. It's too close to the election right now. We can't make that. We're not going to make that call.
So it's not not necessarily people's fault that they didn't vote. But a lot of them didn't vote, and that's the problem for us is to figure out what to do about that in the future. I want to say something nice about union seniors, though.
Okay.
My organization is the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans. I'm the president of that, and you're a member.
I'm
that's
a member.
Right.
That's right.
And our information indicates that union seniors voted Democratic by a margin of 35%.
Wow.
Now, it's well known that seniors vote more than younger people. The older you get, the more likely you are to vote. And in Texas, the more older you get, the more likely you are to vote Republican. In fact, the Republicans got 71% of the vote for the over 65 people, the people that are old, my age.
And only 11% of the people under 30 voted?
They voted at all, yeah.
11%?
So older people tend to vote, and they tend to vote for people that are going to cut their throats. But union seniors, which is most of the members of the Texas Alliance of Retired Americans, are either in a union or are associated with unions or something like that, or meeting in a union hall or friends of unions. Those people voted Democratic by a margin of 35%. Now, what's the difference? The difference is that they know something. They have been given some information, and they have had a chance to interact with other seniors. So I think that shows that there's a lot of hope, especially in the senior vote. Another good indication for seniors was that the vote by mail, I understand, doubled.
Yes, I saw that too.
So vote by mail, which is what people over 65 should be doing.
And disabled.
Well.
If you're disabled, you're over 65, or you're going to be out of the country, or out of the area during early voting and election day, you can vote by mail.
Right.
And there's no requirements for any ID or anything like that when you're voting by mail.
Yeah.
And folks, we had 2 weeks of early voting from the 20th to the 31st of October. Polls were open. They were open on Saturday and Sunday during that time period. We have no excuse.
You're doing it again.
I know, I can't help it. We have no
excuse.
excuse.
It wasn't our listeners.
I know I wasn't our listeners.
We'll be right back. 972-647.
Yeah, I saw that. Yes, I did. I saw that.
947-2647.
Thanks, Joe.
1893 to
Thanks,
make
Joe.
a pledge, and we need it.
You know, there's a really cool thing that you can get for a $500 pledge.
What?
You get a pair of tickets to every KNON benefit for the whole year. That's like
good.
40 or 50 shows. Mm-hmm. And there are some awesome shows. Oh, hey, most of them come with food.
You can break that up in bank draft. You don't have to pay that $500 immediately.
Really? So you could break it up. You could break it up in a 1 year bank draft thing.
It's like $40 a month.
Wow, is that cool or what? Man, you could have something to do every single week.
And you get to go to
week.
all of the music.
It's an elite music sponsor package.
I see.
I mean, Sunday Herman Hall, Poor David's Pub, the Thanksgiving breakfast, which is coming up.
And KNON does a lot of benefits.
Oh man, crawfish boils, chili cook-offs, Mardi Gras gumbo party, woohoo! Latin Energy Festival. The first or the second year of the Latin Energy Festival, we had 10,000 people in Artist Square. It was awesome. It was so fun. Fort Worth Blues Fest. So we got stuff for Fort Worth and Dallas in here. So by all means, I mean, if you're a big music person, this elite sponsorship is awesome. And you can break it up into a bank draft for a 1 year period. And so you're only paying like $40 a month, and you're getting a bunch of shows throughout the year. That is fun. Very fun. And you can text and pick you can fill out your pledge sheet online. It's 5612. 56512. That's the number that you put where the phone number goes, okay? 56512. And your message is KNON. And they're going to send you a text back with the link. You click on the link and it takes you right to the form.
Thousands of people may have done that since we've been on the air.
I know, we don't know.
We won't know until next week.
Right.
If they tell us next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Here's something you might want to know about. The unemployment rate went down when they announced it on Friday.
Woohoo!
We were very, very glad. However, this is what the Economic Policy Institute says about unemployment today. It says the clearest measure of true market health is the prime age employment to population ratio. They call that the EPOP. In other words, that's the number of people who actually have a job compared to the people who should be looking for a job. It's the percentage of the population aged 25 to 54 who have a job. And the EPOP is not going good. It actually went down by 3.1 percentage points from the third quarter of 2007 to the third quarter of 2014. Further, in the two states where the EPOP has grown, in other words, where more people have jobs, which is Oklahoma and Michigan, the reason that they have a higher EPOP is because of the population went down, not the jobs went up.
Wow.
So
it's not as rosy as...
No, there's a lot of different ways to figure out the people who are not looking for a job. They don't figure in. They don't count you at all if you're not looking for a job.
And now that the unemployment benefits are cut, you've only got 6 months of unemployment benefits, which ain't all that, let me tell you.
So there's no point, no reason, after you finish your reports, after you finish your unemployment benefits, there's no reason to report whether you're looking for a job or not.
That's right.
So that makes it look better.
Yeah.
Because what they're looking at, it's really a survey to see who's looking for a job and who's not. And so when the unemployment rate goes down, we all celebrate, but that's not the only way to measure it. And this EPOP way of actually measuring who's got a job compared to just how many people there are that should be looking for a job.
And that doesn't include your underemployed either. Folks that want to work full-time but can't.
Yeah.
Because they can't get the hours.
Oh, no.
So
and it doesn't count people who have just got a crummy job and they want a good job.
Right. Because that's exactly right.
Because there's an awful lot of them. Bernice made a pledge.
Thank you, Bernice. Thank you very much.
And we got
two
another one
pledges.
from...
Wow.
Oh, this is from Kimberly Jackson.
Oh, yeah, from Kimberly. Yeah, how
she
sweet.
She actually left cash.
She paid
she was
already.
Here on the
cool.
last show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, and thank you very much, Bernice. Very much appreciated. Thank you.
This is the Workers Beat program, and I want to point out some of the stuff that's happened in workers' history because it's some of it's really good. In 1892, on this date in 1892, 20,000 workers went on general strike in New Orleans. Wow. And the really significant thing about this is the middle of Jim Crow. You know, Jim Crow was established about that time, and it was a lot of racism, especially in places like New Orleans. But this was a strike of black and white workers went together.
Wow.
And 20,000 of them went on strike.
That's pretty awesome.
In 1892, that was a long time ago, and we could do that now a lot more easily because they didn't have cell phones. And the Civil Works Administration created 4 million additional jobs during 1933. This is when Franklin Delano Roosevelt was president. So we're talking about creating jobs. On this date, November the 8th, in 1933, they created 4 million additional jobs for the unemployed. The workers ultimately laid 12 million feet of sewer pipe and built or made substantial improvements to 255,000 miles of roads, 40,000 schools, 3,700 playgrounds, and nearly 1,000 airports.
That sounds like something we should do now.
Yeah, listen to this. They built outhouses. You know, people were just going out in the woods.
Wow.
And they built outhouses, 250,000 outhouses, which were built with the people from the Civil Works Administration that was started by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. They could do that today.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine how much work could get done if we actually put everybody to work? Oh, and paid them a living wage? Oh,
and fix the roads.
And fix the roads and the bridges and the schools. And, oh, my gosh, how much better life would be.
The Committee for Industrial Organization, the CIO, was founded on November 9th. That'll be tomorrow. November 9th of 1935.
Wow.
The Committee for Industrial Organization, also known as the CIO, was founded by 8 unions who were at that time affiliated with the American Federation of Labor. The 8 want more focus on organizing mass production industry workers, and that happened in 1935. They kicked them out. The AFL kicked the CIO out in 1938, but anyway,
and then they got back together.
They found it in 1935.
What year did they get back together?
1955, I believe.
Okay, so they were broke up for a while.
Interesting. Yeah, in Texas. Texas was a little sluggish about it.
No.
Texas didn't actually rejoin the AFL-CIO until 1998, I believe it was.
Really?
Yeah, I had no. I take it back. There were different unions. My own union, the United Auto Workers, got out of the AFL-CIO in 1958 in Texas and didn't get back in until 1998. I had a little something to do with that.
No,
and
not
I'm proud
you,
to say. 972-647-1893. Call and make a pledge. It's the Workers Beat program.
That's right.
You're not going to hear good things about workers on the other stations because the other stations are owned by big corporations.
That's right.
And those big corporations are anti-worker and have been since their inception and will be until their death.
That's right. I just saw some really cool stuff over here that were given as premiums for pledges.
Okay.
And for a $50 pledge, you get this 3-piece set that is a navy blue beanie, a scarf, and a pair of gloves. And it's embroidered. KNON is embroidered on the hat and on the scarf.
Wait a minute. This is a girl's beanie or a boy's beanie? Because who wears beanies?
People who want to keep their head warm.
Okay.
Right?
Well, does it have a little propeller on the top?
No, not that kind of beanie. A knit beanie.
Oh, I see. Those soft hats. Soft hats you can pull it
when
all
I
the way
lived
down
up
over
north,
your
they
ears.
were called toques.
Toques. I call them boggins.
Well, toboggan. There you go. Yeah. Toque, I think, might be a French Canadian kind of thing.
I've got a KNON one too.
Well, yeah, you could get a new one. Yeah, you could get a new one if you need a new one, and a scarf and a pair of gloves to go with it.
So, as you're getting ready for winter.
That's right, because, it's going to be really cold this week.
It is really?
Yeah, it's supposed to, drop into the 30s at some point. Of course, I'll be in Houston, so it'll be a tad warmer. Sorry.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But as you get ready to face the winter,
you'll need
get
that.
a boggin and a scarf and gloves from KNON.
Yeah.
And how much do you have to pledge?
$50.
Oh, that's a deal.
That's a great deal. If you pledged $100, you could get two $50 premiums, right? If you want,
you get one for your sweetheart.
Yeah.
And you could go dressed together.
You could be Twinkies.
I think that's so cute.
That's so cute.
My mother sewed when I was in high school.
Oh yeah. Did y'all have matching clothes?
If I was going with somebody, she would fix us two shirts. That looked alike.
That's so sweet. My mom, we all had matching dresses. Yeah, my mom made our clothes. Yeah, I was one of those kids that everybody made fun of because my clothes were homemade.
Yeah, my mother made my sister's dresses from.
Did the kids make fun of y'all?
From flour sacks.
Yeah, see.
And unfortunately, all the other kids knew what the flour
sacks looked like. So
looked like.
Yeah, they knew it was a flour sack.
Yeah.
But, hey, what do they know?
It was very obvious that we were wearing flour sacks.
So we were bullied as children. That's what happened.
That's why we turned out.
That's why we turned out like this.
Yeah.
So, you can take it one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
You can be crazy or you can just stand up and say,
But you can also
care.
you can say you do care and make a pledge. 972-647-1893.
Because we got hoodies and we got bowling shirts.
Yeah, Bonnie and I have matching
hoodies.
hoodies.
Yes, we do. We have matching hoodies. We sure do. We got them in honor of Trayvon Martin. We sure did. There's a backpack and a ball cap. We got glasses.
For how much pledge?
Backpack is $50. Ball cap's $50. We got glasses and stainless steel travel tumbler with KNON on it is just $40.
And don't forget, for $100, I'll come to your organization
and sing his new song.
My new song on Walmart, working at Walmart.
Or you could get a black zip-up jacket with 2 pockets, or a short-sleeve polo shirt that has pockets, or a bowling shirt, which is very cool, or a concert folding chair.
Yeah. The new Congress is going to try to cut Social Security.
And Medicare.
And Medicare.
Oh, my Lord.
And I just found this out. Without Social Security, an additional 8.6% of Americans, or nearly 27 million people, would be in poverty. Without Social Security, another 27 million people would be in poverty. There's already too many people in poverty here in the richest country in the world.
Well, Dallas County has a huge part of our population lives below the poverty line.
In fact, I think for children living under the poverty line.
We lead in the nation.
Dallas needs the
That's
nation.
right. That's right. Something to be proud of.
On pensions and old age benefits, the United States is currently ranked on the bottom half of the chart. People think that that older people are better off here in the richest country in the world, but they're not.
No, because
In
we
fact,
don't take care of our
more than half of
old
the
people.
More than half the countries in the world have a better deal for retirees than the United States. We're ranked on the bottom half of the chart. We're between Ireland and Slovenia. I don't even know what Slovenia is.
I think it used to be part of
country.
I think it used to be part of the Czech Republic.
Okay, well, anyway, they have a better retirement system
Yugoslavia
than we do. They have a better retirement system than we do.
Great. That's great. I don't think I want to move there. I don't know. I'm just thinking not. I think, Gene and I were talking about it earlier. I mean, Denmark and Switzerland, they have incredible economies.
Now, how much do you make if you work for Burger King in Denmark?
$20 an hour.
$20 an hour.
$20
if you work for
an
Burger
hour.
King.
That's right.
That's flipping burgers.
Yep.
Same as here.
Same
burgers.
Same burger. Yep.
Same company.
Same burger. Same company.
Same uniforms.
Yep.
But they make $20 an hour.
And the guys here, the one kid that they talked to, he just got a raise. He makes $8.90 an hour.
Uh-huh.
And he's doing the same job
the
that the young man. These are not kids. That's the other thing. People need to understand these are not starter jobs for kids in high school. Mm-hmm. These are jobs that people with college educations are taking because there is nothing else out there.
Yeah.
So, don't talk bad or look down your nose at folks that work in fast food, because you know what? They're just trying to make a living, just trying to make it from day to day, just like you are.
Did you ever hear that song, Please Tip Your Waitress?
Yes, that's a great song. Mm-hmm. We used to say that all the time. Don't forget to tip your waitress and bartenders.
It's a good song.
Oh, that's when I worked in the club.
972-647-1893 to make a pledge.
Please.
The Dallas Morning News asked about the voter suppression law. They don't call it that. They call it something else.
They call it the voter ID law.
Well, I don't care what they call it. It's still
voter suppression.
It's the voter suppression
That's right.
law. They asked people, what about it? And this is what I wrote. I hope you read it. This ran in the Dallas Morning News last Saturday in the Sound Off section. It said, I have always been proud that the long arc of justice bent toward more democracy in America. Even in my short lifetime, I have seen the end of white primaries, the lowering of the voting age, the end of poll taxes, and the first bilingual ballots. But the most recent past shows that the spokes of the wheels of progress are being deliberately shattered. The judges are selling our very election process, the soul of our democracy, to the highest bidder. Candidates who used to hope for thousands to run campaigns now need millions of dollars and can only be elected with the approval of the richest oligarchs. The Texas voter suppression law is the worst of the worst. The toilet paper thin excuse of preventing voter fraud is utter nonsense, both in theory and in statistical fact. Those who love democracy must mobilize and fight against the Texas voter suppression law and everyone who backs it. That's what I said last Saturday.
Very good, Gene.
Didn't work.
I know, right?
67% of the people in Texas still didn't vote.
Yeah.
And that that's only counting registered voters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Texans who are not registered.
Right.
So really, it's more than 67% of the people who should have voted.
Should have voted, just registered voters.
70%.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
It's really, we got to do better. That's all there is to it. We just got to do better.
But we will do better.
We will do better because we're all going to work together. And that's by keeping us on the air, you're going to continue to hear about things to make things better. Because just because the election is over doesn't mean that the work is stopping. Now we have to gear up and get voters registered and make them understand that we are electing a new city council and a new mayor in May this year.
That's right.
And we have got to make sure that our city stays in one piece. Because we have a huge problem.
I think there's some improvements that need to be made.
There are many improvements that need to be made, and I can tell you that the redistricting has helped because the districts are much more geographic in nature.
Now, you're talking about the city.
The city districts, yes. City districts were actually done pretty good. But we have to work together to bridge that north-south gap.
I hope you and I, Bonnie, are still on the air. as
Me
we
too.
approach those city elections.
Me too. So that's
We won't be if we
you don't
get
call
the pledges.
and make the pledges.
972-647-1893. We don't have to be here when you call and make the
That's
pledge.
right.
But you do have to lie and tell them the Workers Beat is your favorite
program. Yeah.
However you do it, you have to say something about Workers Beat.
That's right.
Otherwise, we won't get credit for it.
That's right. And we want to make sure that we get credit.
Not that we don't want all the other programs to do well.
Sure, we want
as well.
we don't want anybody to lose their spot because trust me, it hurts. It sucks to get
I'm
fired
proud
from
of the fact, though, that-
it's hard to get fired from a volunteer job, you know. But it can happen.
Workers Beat has been on the air since the station started.
That's right.
And we hope to keep on. Call 972-647-1893, make a pledge. Let's get out of the way for Ranger Rita.
Thanks, guys.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.